councillors that are supposed to know better. Folks, you really have got to stop being distracted. I mean, all I'm seeing now is people being distracted by councillors that are supposed to know better. I mean, I'm seeing councillors talking about the Migration Pact that was signed in 2024. I mean, it was signed in 2024, and now I see people going to the High Court to put in injunctions to stop this when it was already done in 2024. But if they were that concerned about the Migration Pact, why didn't they do it 2 years ago when the deal was being done? Why now, 3 weeks before it's being implemented? I mean, I'll tell you why they're all doing this now. Because the government is currently taking our triple lock to remove our sovereignty. That's why they're distracting you with a deal that was done 2 years ago. So the government can come along and take our triple lock and remove our sovereignty, and then our children are going to be sent to NATO's wars that have nothing got to do with them. And that's what's going to happen with the triple lock being removed. And that's currently being removed as we speak right now, while everyone's focusing about the Migration Pact that was done in 2024. I'm going to show you all the dates now, so you can't argue and say that I'm talking or I'm being divisive, because I'm showing you facts. Everything is written. Everything is down. The dates are there. So people have got to stop being distracted and focus on what's happening now, which is our triple lock being removed. That's what where people's concern should be. Nowhere else. I'm at a loss with the Irish people, because you won't sit and read what the government are printing and publishing to show us exactly where they're bringing us. Instead, you are watching YouTube videos, and I'm including my own in this. All people want to do is stay on social media instead of sitting down and educating themselves, because everything is there for people to see if you care to look. Otherwise, you're going to stay confused, and confused people are easy to feck and control. And that's the facts, folks. I'm going to show you the dates now, and you can see clearly for yourselves that this is already done. It's a done deal. We need to be focused now on the triple lock removal, because that's going to affect our children. And I say children because with all the trans stuff that's going on, our sons and daughters can be sent out to war now. So if that's what you want, carry on fighting with the Migration Pact, because that was done 2 years ago. Otherwise, get serious and start looking at the triple lock, because that's what they're currently removing now. On the 27th of March 2024, Helen McEntee goes to the Cabinet. She gets approval to opt into the Migration Pact. Now, folks, Protocol 21 was used to join, not to block it. On the 18th of June of 2024, it went to the Dáil, a motion to opt into the 7 measures. This is McEntee speaking before that vote, and I'm quoting here, "I am not waiting for a new law." So, folks, they were implementing this regardless. And here's the vote, folks. On the 18th of June 2024, it carried 71 to 58. So there was a motion to opt in. The Dáil gave the government constitutional permission to join the EU Migration Pact, and they did in June 2024. And on the 2nd of August 2024, Brussels confirms it. Here it is in their own words, folks. The European Commission confirmed Ireland's opt-in. From that date, it's now EU law and Irish law. The window to say no closed here, folks, back in 2024, not now in 2026. And people think Jim O'Callaghan is fighting it. On the 26th of May of last year, he brought the Protocol 21 review to Cabinet. And here's his own words. "Ireland is committed to continuing to work with our EU partners. Continuing, folks, not stopping. It's all here in the words." And more of his own words, folks. Here he says it's the best interest that we continue to the maximum extent possible. So, folks, Jim O'Callaghan renewed Protocol 21. He didn't reject it. He made sure it continued. Now, there's the Migration Pact and all the dates. So here's where they're taking our neutrality. And if you're okay with that, then fine, carry on with your Migration Pact nonsense. But if you're not okay with it and you're like me and you're actually really frustrated about this, please take a look at this and actually start focusing on this, because this is what's currently happening, and this is where we need to be focused on, because it's happening right now. We actually have a chance to stop this. Not a Migration Pact that was signed, sealed and delivered in June of 2024. I mean, folks, please stop looking at the distractions and start looking at what's published. So Taoiseach secures government approval for reform of the triple lock on the 4th of March 2025. Now, the 4th of March 2025, folks, that's 2 months before O'Callaghan renewed Protocol 21. Simon Harris went to Cabinet to reform the triple lock. He secured government approval in March, folks, to reform the triple lock, the law that says we need a UN mandate to send troops abroad. And the reason, and I'll quote here, "Removing the power of UN Security Council members to veto. The UN veto is the triple lock. No UN mandate, no troops, and they're now removing it." Buried in the same press release, they're quadrupling the troops they can deploy with no Dáil vote, from 12 to 50. No debate. I mean, look at this. Quoting here, we don't believe that Putin or other leaders should have a veto. So Harris is basically making it about Putin, but read it. Putin or other leaders. This removes the veto for America, China, France, the UK, all of them. This is about removing the UN. And read this, folks. They're saying, let there be no doubt the proposed amendments in no way affects Ireland's policy of military neutrality. But I mean, if it in no way affects neutrality, why are they rewriting the exact law that defines neutrality? Help me make sense of it, folks. Someone's lying. And here's the bill itself, folks. The Defence Amendment Bill 2025, published in February 2025. So this was written before Simon Harris even went to the Cabinet with this. So read this here, folks. It states here, the bill will provide for the removal of the existing requirement regarding the triple lock. Removal, not reform, removal. They're voting on this soon, folks. We still have time to make sure this doesn't happen. Let your voices be heard. So there's your timeline, folks. In March 2024, we opted into the Migration Pact. May 2025, Jim O'Callaghan renewed it. March 2025, Simon Harris moved to kill the triple lock. February 2025, the bill to remove it was already written. Protocol 21 is done, but the triple lock is currently being removed. Stop sharing bills and amendments from 2024, folks. The fight is the Defence Amendment Bill in 2025. If this passes, we don't need a UN mandate. We don't need a Dáil vote for 50 troops. We just need Cabinet. It's time now to get onto your TDs before removal becomes law. We can ensure this doesn't happen, folks, but we just need to put the amount of pressure on our TDs to make sure it doesn't, because when they get enough pressure, they will back down. When we stand up, they sit down.